आजकल जो कन्वेंस वगैरह आउट ऑफ जो बड़े बड़ी कंपनी में ओपी रहता है, सपोज आपके लोकल भी क्लाइंट्स हैं, आपसे लोकल बोले तो सपोज यू आर गोइंग टू वसई फॉर अ फैक्ट्री, बोरिवली से वसई, देयर आर लॉट ऑफ पीपल serving Vasai, Kandivali, and you going to a client place for what are doing audits. How many of you charge OP out of pocket expenses? Very few. As a firm, we were also not charging OP to our Bombay-based clients earlier. But then we said, why not? Because I'm going to Navi Mumbai, I'm going to Borivali and Deri, wherever, from Dadar or from wherever I'm in. And I'm paying to my people also. They're going for audits. They're paying. Why not recover that? तो अपने गुजराती में कहा है टीपे सरोवर भरा है।
At least that we are recovering.
हाँ, नहीं काफी लोग नहीं कर रहे, बहुत कम हाथ में रीजन है वैसे I'm seeing the response. So गुजराती, lot of your गुजराती और even टीपे सरोवर भरा है. So these are all small bits. Why not? To the extent recently, one of our partners of the firm said, sir, आप भी आपके कार कॉस्ट तो खाली फर्म में डेबिट, उसमें थोड़े बहुत आप भी क्लाइंट हैं तो आते ही हो सब जगह पे, मतलब ऑडिट कमिटीज मीटिंग दी promoters and all. Why don't you charge? So I'm saying it has to go to that granular level. Why leave anything?
Sometimes we have to educate the client also.
Sorry?
Sometimes we have to educate the client also regarding the fee. When we are billing the fee, they are taking, others are coming at a very lesser rate. Then we have to educate them why we are charging to you this much.
That is the projection.
When you are asking Juta Silai to study part, then you are asking me, you are calling each and every day.
Absolutely.
And when you are, I am charging for the audit fee, you are looking on the glass of the only audit fee. Why for that? How much I am giving the services in the whole of the year.
Very good.
And it is not, it is a nomenclature charging the audit fee. It is not the actually, it is the audit fee.
That's what I said. Audit में तो you can't write anything more. Of course, audit में जैसे ISC controls फलान जितना भी certificate. But tax में तो हजार चीज आप कर रहे हो, GST में हजार चीज कर रहे हो, तो लिखो oral consultation, capital gains, फलाना देखना जो भी वो advice कर रहा है, please write that. So I think good, but at least we are having good examples. So he's right, we are not projecting what we are doing. That's a projection.
Today the people are not charging for the urine generated here. Whichever urine has been generated, at least billing for at least those certificates should be done. But the people are there. They have generated urine, they have
certificate charges.
Certificate charges.
See, again, another weakness is revenue leakage within the firm. Again, my own firm's example, many years back. We were never used to work, कभी certificate billing हुआ नहीं हुआ. There has to be a system. Urine generated उसका billing होना ही चाहिए. Cross check होके.
We have made it mandatory in our.
Yes. Another thing is charge as soon as the assignment is over. How many of you charge someone को एक काम regular तो करते ही हो, but how many of you do the billing promptly?
Immediate, sir.
Immediate. I'll again give an example. The reason just to drive home a point.
Then sign किया साथ में bill लेके
Sign. See on tax, I'll just give an example. Say I have won a huge appeal for a client, and this is again my own firm, old experience. Suppose he has saved say 10 crore rupees. This is an example in the tax service because of the appeal. If I send the bill immediately, he'll value that. कि 10 crore का मैं saving हुआ है, उसके दिमाग में है. He'll pay whatever जो अपने फीस का. वही बिल मैं 6 महीने के बाद में रेस करता हूँ. अरे इतना सारा बिल हो सकता है. It is psychology. So बहुत जरूरी है you do immediately as soon as I'll not get into the billing. Each of you decide what your manna rate should be depending on the earning. आपका खुद का and then see you'll not be able to recover your manna rate. But at least start tabulating the time sheet रखो कितना होना चाहिए. You'll come to know the discount you're giving to the client. 1000 रुपया per hour. This पे मेरे को याद है. Other day I was with Girish Vanwari of Transaction Square. He was showing me a proposal of an advocate, Saraf and Partners. I don't know them so closely. Not the AZB, CAM, SAM or Tri-Legal वगैरह. So Saraf Partner हो गई बड़ी firm, but you know the proposal. What is? Just give a indication what could be the manna rate for the partner, the senior partner. Any idea? Just give a wild guess.
2 lakh rupees like an hour.
1 lakh. You're near there. Now tell me what is the manna rate for the junior most person? There are 5-6 categories. Partner, junior most, associate बोलो जो भी बोलो.
25,000.
I think all of you are near. 13,000. So Girish was telling me, Nilesh, हम लोग सब इतना toil करके अपने life में कभी ये rupees आएगी. 13,000 rupees an hour for an associate who must be junior most advocate in the rank. But just to get, लोग अपने 1000-2000 भी करो, जो भी करो. Start tabulating. If you are an accountant, कितना time spend कर रही assignment पे tax, अंदर जो भी काम कर रहे हो, There's a manner, and this is your, say, 1000 rupees I'm just saying, and see what is the value. And this is just a working how you can derive the rate. I'll not spend time there on.
Sir, excuse me. On this particular slide, the last slide that you showed, about the billing rate.
This one?
Yes, sir. In 2010, I'm talking of the year 2010, 15 years back. In one big four, we implemented this on an ERP platform, and no bill is generated unless it goes through the system, and the manager has a discretion to do the discounting. Again, his discretion power is capped as per the national firm's policy. He cannot give more than any discount he wants. Maximum
So
in
you are
audit.
right.
But this,
Absolutely right.
this can be done in Big Four. Why cannot it be
No,
done?
Big Four में वो बड़े उनके दिखाने के दांत बड़े हैं. The way they undercutting also is huge, but let us not. I'll not get into
the
that.
Big Four.
वो discount भी बहुत देते हैं.
Sir, I have faced the undercutting from
अभी वो हम चाय के ऊपर डिस्कस करेंगे. Breakup of services, try to bill as exhaustive, raise the bill immediately, monitor outstanding bills, no किसी को लगा तो बंदे को. Try and provide value addition to clients. Friend, what is the value addition you give in an audit or in a tax or in whatever? What is the value addition you are doing? Any inputs?
Cost savings or revenue leakage savings.
Apart from that. That of course is good, whatever. But all this you discuss orally with the client. जो भी आप देखते हो, you discuss with the client, right? How many of you are putting that on a paper, a suggestion letter? 1, 2, 3. See, आप audit करते हो, tax करते हो, you advise the client, ये ठीक नहीं है, whatever you are doing, cost reduction, revenue optimization, या tax में कोई गलती और इसको ऐसे करोगे तो ये ठीक होगा, वैसे करोगे, you do orally because you are reviewing whatever suggestions come to your mind. You audit कर रहे तो ये control weakness है, ये control ठीक करो तो ऐसे होगा, जो भी. Just try to put that on a piece of paper, bullet points. हाँ, उसमें just officially लिख सकते हो, unofficial वाला मत लिखना. 2 नंबरी का मत लिखना उसमें पेपर पे, और जो officially लिख सकते हो improvement का, that you put it on the paper and send it to the client and see the impact. I'll give an example. We were auditors of Inam Securities. You know Inam, the big name. ठीक है, वो तो उधर हम लोग management whatever came to our mind. There was another set of companies which was the investment companies handled by some other people. और investment में होता क्या, साल में 1-2 transaction, nothing. तो उसमें क्या management देने जैसा कुछ था ही नहीं. But one day the gentleman was handling those investment companies within that group. नीलेश भाई, आपको उधर वो जो देते हो, हमको क्यों नहीं देते हो? मैं suggestion letter. So that is the impact. Put it on writing. हम orally तो देते हैं, and the difference will be you orally दिया ना, रात गई बात गई, record पे रहेगा. So the client also will appreciate that. He'll start implementing it. It will have more value. So oral was please don't, and only the official part of it, unofficially personally देना. This is a recommended scale of fees which came. I will not get into these slides. Yeah, we talked a lot about the pura session on fees pe tha. Again, put service first attitude. People with a money first attitude come so money conscious that they forget money cannot be harvested unless they plant the seeds that grow the money. And the seed of money is service. That is why put service first is an attitude which creates wealth. Put service first and money will take care of itself. Again, a small example. Year 1999, we were approached by a transportation client to help them in setting up an ERP. We had never done in our life. For whatever reason, they didn't take our help. Then they approached us after the ERP was set up in 2000. The ERP was not giving the results. It was a domestic ERP. It was not giving the results which it was, supposed to give, the reports, etc. They said, why don't you look at it? So, हमने भी life में till that time we had not looked at an ERP or an advisory work. So we took up that work. We estimated 4 months time, and a very senior team. We said we'll charge you 4 lakh rupees. Year 2000, 4 lakh rupees for a 4-month assignment. Senior resources involved. But we are not waiting for the first time. काम चलते रहा. 4-month end होने के बाद team came back to me, sir. अपना यहाँ पे we are not seeing the light at the end of कभी खत्म होने वाला है. काम चल रहा है. अभी पता नहीं है. तो should we suggest for increase of years? Nothing doing. हाँ, उससे 25 तक एडवांस ले लिया था. तो we said नहीं, अभी नहीं, अभी काम पहले पूरा खत्म करो. Then we'll see. That took 8 months. That activity which was supposed to be 4 months took us 8 months. We made a presentation then to the promoters. They were absolutely happy. After the presentation, I went and told the promoters, sir, ये एस्टिमेट वो पूरा प्रपोजल राइटिंग में था, 4 महीने का एस्टिमेट किया था, 4 लाख फीस था, 8 महीने, आई डोंट वांट टू चार्ज यू 8 lakhs, but I want to charge you 5.5 lakhs just to recover my cost. He didn't bat an eyelid. So that is where service first comes. Sometimes you can go wrong. I'm not saying, see, there's something when you do for the first time, you don't have a proper estimate of time, etc. But don't do it on, so service, the moment you agree for a fees, then don't cut on corners on the service. Service has to be good. आप PSU audit करते हो, ये करते हो, don't blame. लिया नहीं तो मत लो आप. If you are taken, the profession की पूरी अपनी जो इज्जत है वो सर्विस के वैल्यू पे, then you do a full go all out and do the service. पहले जो जितना खिटपिट करना है फी बढ़ानी बढ़ा लो, बाद में don't look at it. Then it has to be only delivery, good quality delivery. Another thing is quote fees for only after doing proper analysis. Here we went wrong on the analysis. I'll give you another example. RBI for the first time requested for an internal audit way back, I think again 20-25 years back. I was sharing my personal experiences. I sent a team of 2 people, 2 of my colleagues, they went, they did a study. That time it was not fully online, there were a lot of manual registers. So my team went, I thought 10 baje ka time hai, you will not get registered before 10:30, 11. And so 6 o'clock is the ending time, the pews will start at 5 o'clock and start taking, beech mein आधा 1 घंटा lunch time. So based on that we quoted, I think that time, 1.5 lakh per month, if my memory serves me right. Huge volume. Then Amar building, RBI, one or some departments there. One other mid-size firm, a larger mid-size firm than us also requested. They gave a quote of 45,000 a month. We also 1.5 lakh. Naturally, we didn't get the work. They did the work. I met their partner after a year or 2 at Bhavnagar airport. I said, how is that audit going, RBI? He said, Nilesh, I'm pulling my ear. Why did I accept that? I said, why? Analysis was the way in our first case our analysis was wrong. Luckily client was good, he paid, but especially in the PSU type thing, and to my surprise, when the rotation happened, from the 45,000 fees went to 25,000. I don't know what is this so much. Anyway, so people less is the better. Banks hai, ye hai. A lot of people are doing concerned. I don't know how we can afford a risk reward of 15,000, 20, 30, 50,000 a month bhi ho agar concurrent audit ka. In my view, the risk is just harmless. People do it for other reasons, the cross-sell of services, etc. But don't do it at the cost of jeopardizing the profession. So that was on the analysis of work. Another thing is systemize your work with writing. Again, my own example. I used to be looking after audits. So jo bhi bande Puneet and Maulin will agree with me, and I think I've seen Satish also now with my other colleague. So they used to come to me with their balance sheet P&L, or I used to get a kick. Isme ye galti, wo galti, se chokda mark karo, ye karo, wo karo. And typically what most of these things are standard. What quantity tally? अपने जो पीछे inventory as per the schedules not matching with the inventory in the balance sheet or whatever. So I could have systemized that. I'm just again sharing my own example. If you see 90% of the work, which when we are reviewing, we can organize and systemize it. So based on experience, just कि पहले से checklist बना लो कि ये check करके आ जाना. What I was doing physically, I could have said I was not doing it. They are witness. But in hindsight, when you start seeing, तो आप लोग जो भी काम कर रहे हो तो उतना काम आपका कम हो जाएगा. Your time involvement will get less. Standardized thing, standardized mistakes which people are doing within the organization. Just document that. एक SOP type. कि मेरे पास आने के पहले ये check करके लेके आना. Same thing sir, Puneet now you are doing GST or whatever work you are doing. Just document that. I think we have discussed a lot of these things. How many of you take engagement letters? जो भी काम हो, ऑडिट हो, नॉन ऑडिट हो, प्लीज स्पेसिफाई. Especially how many of you do client a lump sum fees for everything? My request will be, even if you do that, please document that what lump sum will include.
Yes.
मेरा एक client था, एक ही मेरा client lump sum था पहले. उसका एक दिन he had a this thing FEMA notice. That time was FEMA, I don't know. And तो life में we were not done. He was a big exporter. We helped him. Then the matter went to litigation, and there's a separate tribunal for that. But all that efforts, कि तो आपको lump sum में आ गया. अरे मेरा income tax होगा, मेरा audit होगा lump sum में. I can't have. So even if you're doing lump sum, number one, don't do. Is my advice, strong advice. If you do, please document what will cover so that they don't. Yeah, absolutely. तो काफी उसको वो engagement नहीं बनाते.
For additional. It's an engagement, you have to take it every year.
Yeah, better.
हम 1 or 2
We discussed social media. This we discussed human capital. So very important. I said many of you, I think, you are sole proprietor small firms. You need to sacrifice small for the larger interest. When you join together, there's always a team effort and some sacrifice is required for somewhere. Almost an I versus we culture. Only then you'll be able to grow. So what are the ingredients for successful practice? It is human capital, good clients, client satisfaction, knowledge skills, professional networks, health and happiness, all the, enhancing the quality of documentation, enhancing review mechanism, internal succession planning, periodic and timely dialogue with the client, very important. These are traditional areas, these are the upcoming areas you can see when you say opportunities, huge opportunities, a lot of new areas coming up, decide what you want to do, these are the traditional areas which we saw. Friends, there's a deficit of 3 lakh accountants in US and at the same time I believe Canada, UK. Currently there are a lot of challenges, visas and all. In my view, huge opportunity. Outsourcing, almost all the large entities of the world are having the GCCs here, outsourcing, like global, capability centers and all. So, but at least in accounting is going to go. So assuming you have got some friends who are there, CPAs, this, that, etc. See if you can do some, outsourcing, QuickBooks, this, that. I think potential is huge in my view. I will not get into, I think most of us are the other side of the 40s and 50s. If you want to go into specialization, what you want to be, how to enter the new areas, problems of venturing into new areas. This will look at, growth strategies, positioning where you want to be. So again, from our practice perspective, we are jack of all. We are good in tax, we are good in GST, we are good in audit. But at least we master, we will be jack of all, but at least master of one. That is very critical. I don't think the time is there now to be a jack of all. If you want to grow, वही छोटी practice करके चल रहा है तो कोई problem. But if you want, if your growth aspiration is there, at least you have to be master of one. Whether it's GST, or international tax, domestic tax, audit, finance, accounting standard, auditing standard, I leave it to you. So as per what your natural inclination is. But एक area में तो mastery होनी चाहिए. Where people should come to you today, फलाना, उदय भाई को मैं इसके लिए आऊँगा या दुर्गेश भाई को इसके लिए आऊँगा. That has to be there.
Master of one.
Yeah, at least master of one. Technology, again, very important. As we said, robotics, we discussed. Just trying to skip. See, these are some of the tools. How many are using some tools or the other apart from the basic tax tools? That is for the practice management. Everything in this. Through your own, very good. I think I'll sit separately so it doesn't know what you're doing. Friends, for HR, we were using Spine earlier. Now, as a firm, as we are growing, from Tally, we have ourselves moved to Zoho, just to bring more rigor. We are using Zoho. Spine was very good for us for HR. We are going to Zoho HR, again from integration perspective. Now we are going to Zoho CRM. So, as we grow, we need to have more. We are using Info for the documentation. We found that very good as compared to CCH. I'll leave it to you. For audit documentation. Then for analytics, we do large banks, large entities. So idea is very good for analytics and we use data snipper. अब जो पहले vouching वाले काम करते हैं, data snipper in a quick this thing reduces the work substantially. So we are using data snipper now. Just there may be other products also. Just a sample of what we are doing. So how the impact of AI on small? This I think I'll take this couple of slides. It's very important. AI on small CFO, the impact on accounting service. How many of you are doing accounting? Otherwise, skip this. Accounting बहुत ज़्यादा लोग करने एक ही जन कर रहा है. You can read that. Just in the essence of time. Impact of AI on small. Almost all of us are doing audits. Small, big. AI-driven journal entry, anomaly detection, idea, data snipper I mentioned. So from manual it will go to technology. And what is the impact? High quality audit done faster by AI, outperform manual audit approaches. Automated drafting of audit documentation. Standard of auditing compliant working papers generated instantly. AI-enabled walkthroughs using process SOPs. Reduce the need of staff to conduct walkthrough manually. Standardized audit reports using AI templates. Client prefer consistency and speed. Manual report writing loses value. Again, as you grow, just to give you some example, We have now a separate quality team of almost 8-10 people. Earlier what used to happen, each partner used to issue, by and large there was standardization, but उसमें कुछ change करते, कुछ change करते. If you start growing, you need to be UDE is only taken out by the quality firm. So they check whether the formats are, the individual suppose कि इसमें qualification अलग हो जाएगा, but the reports are standardized, pre-decided. The quality team also checks whether all the audit documentation is completed or not. They will not see the quality of that. At that time, they don't have enough time to see the quality of the documentation, but whether everything is filled up, that is seen. And only then the UDIN is generated. Income tax related service में AI का क्या impact आएगा? AI based return filing from AIS 26 AS Form 16. Individual small business client may shift to do it yourself model. Once this becomes more, the whole thing is coming on AIS form, right? And most of the clients, so gradually they may do it themselves. So that might impact some part of the practice. GPT generated replies to tax notices. Client use AI to draft replies, no CA needed in case they start using. Once the chat GPTs and all the other things become more, the data comes into that, so they'll start responding to the notices. AI-led salary and HUF tax optimization tools removes need for traditional tax planning consultation. API-based integration with income tax portal, filing and tracking now real-time, manual follow. I think I'm amazed the way income tax has harnessed technology. All of you are amazed or not? AIS, this, that CPC. There are some teeth in trouble, but I think at least 99% they're doing a fantastic job. Maybe some hiccups, so it's just amazing. And this government doing it. And so we as individuals, what all can we do? I think we need to introspect. If government can do so much, why can't we harness technology? Impact on GST related service, I'm not an expert, but I'll just read out my team has prepared. GSTR 2B versus books auto reconciliation tools. AI replaces tedious monthly reconciliation process. Most of you are using tools now for reconciliation. GPT based reply drafting that we saw in income tax also. ERP integrated GST bots, auto file GSTRs, AI alerts for fake vendor GST. This is very critical. Vendor risk check becomes real time, no manual analysis needed. आजकल ये ITC लेने के लिए भी वो चैलेंज आ रहा है. AI summarization of GST rules and latest CBAC. Aggregation of firms. What is aggregation? Aggregation is coming together of like-minded firms. And why is it required? To create scale, share infrastructure, build specialization, and offer full service platform. As I told you, see, there are certain costs which are fixed. The HR cost, the technology cost, the quality team. If I have to divide it with the 20 people, there is a challenge. If I have to divide it with 50 people, the cost per head reduces. But divide it with 100 people, it still reduces. So that's why aggregation is important. All these are required. You know, if you want to, for growth, if you're happy with small practice, no change karne ki zarurat nahi. But if you want to grow, all this will be required. Digital transformation, value-added services, compliance have gone up in each area, client expectations. So why aggregation is essential? What are the benefits? Increase market share. Your practice increases, you can give more services. Somebody is good in GST, tax, so you can add services. And strong, and most of it is brand recognition as you grow. Today, you know, the firms like CMK, a lot of other firms, you know, have created a brand now for themselves. Apart from the big 4, big 6, what we see, a huge brand, just because of the size which they are creating. So what are the challenges for small and mid-sized firms like us? Solo small firms struggle with scale, tech investments, and retaining talent. All that will be lesser. I'm not saying it will go out even if you grow. For us also, day-to-day challenges, retaining talent. But as we grow, there's a pyramid created. You know, after the partners, there are directors, managers. Some people aspirationally want to go the ladder. If you are small, if some people go, you will be, you know, handicapped. But in a larger firm, as you start growing in size, the pyramid structure bolte hai, that helps in the growth. So what is the roadmap for growth via aggregation? Strategic planning for aggregation is identify potential partners, define the objectives, develop a business plan, consider international networking. International networking, the issue is still not come out with the rules, so I would not recommend, but when it comes out, look at international networking also. Formalize the partnership or the networking or whatever you want to do, integrate system and processes, communicate with the stakeholders, leverage technology, focus on quality and consistency. I think I'll skip some of these slides. See, these are very important. What is the practice you want to acquire or want to merge? It has to be complementary, strategic client fit, cultural complementary, a lot of issues. You cannot just, I cannot tie with somebody. So mindset match hona chahiye. What is the purpose? Are we going to grow up taking the same area of practice, or you going to add some more practice levels that you need to decide? And what are the disadvantages that this is mentioned, advantages and disadvantages? And aggregation is not the end of your identity, it is the beginning of your impact. So are you building a firm for 5 years or for the next 50 or for 500 years? I think majority I've seen in our profession, most of the firms dissipated. Once the main partners, as I give you one example, Damania Pandey and Bajan, I think most of us. So if you want to institutionalize, you'll need to aggregate. Final thoughts? What are the changes in the professional spectrum which is happening? I think we are going from compliance to consulting. The power is shifting to the tech service. Earlier we used to say, the more whiter the hair, the more value. But now that is no longer. The more tech savvy the more the value. So the power is shifting from the seniors to the more tech-enabled juniors, I would say. And most people like us, we are caught in the middle. You know, the medium-sized firms are caught in the middle, small and medium firms. Monopolies are being threatened, the audit monopoly, the other monopolies, the GST we saw, client expectations are soaring. So what the future holds for us, the traditional practice is losing relevance, mismatch in the demand and supply leading to increasing staff cost, practice becoming less attractive for newcomers, automation making accountants irrelevant, it's going to make more. And we have seen how earlier between physical and the technology modes, it's still going to increase. Knowledge being freely available, role of C is getting changed. As I told earlier, I should be expert in say Companies Act, audit, this, that, etc. But today, you know, everything is available on Google. Asset management for growth. What are your assets for the growth? What is your skills, the talents which you retain, knowledge, ability, client relation and reputation are the assets. So ultimately, where do you have to move from compliance to consulting, value protection of clients to value creation for clients, being a service provider to a solution provider. Very important. I think, unfortunately, again, as a practice, we are more problem finders, not solution finders. So unless you become solution finders, your growth will not happen. See, the habit है कि इसमें ये problem है, वो client को ठीक है problem है, साथ में solution भी दो. ये problem है और ये मैं suggest करता हूँ. How many of us solution we give solution along with the problems to the client? How many of us do that? Good. Nobody likes just problem, orientation. We want solution along with that. And from size, it is going to positioning. How do you position yourself? Thank you. Long presentation. I'm open for any further suggestions.
Thank you, Nilesh sir. So we may take one or two.
Because we have at the upper hand nowadays. So I think the practice will always go on, and in fact, this is a golden period for practitioners.
I'm fully 100% with you, sir. It is absolutely right you're saying. My worry is the professional large. Most of the people, youngsters are not joining. We are elderly, this thing is going to go up. But the change of practice also, let's accept that technology, whatever I mentioned, size, position, this is we're talking the growth of the practice. Same type of practice, no challenge, will continue.
Even after ICAI and all that, practice, because people, even if they look at a CA or they want a CA, at least in Mumbai, even to fill a computerized form, they will say that.
I agree with you, fully agree with you.
Sir, the one problem why new generation is not to set up an office in a city like Bombay, say Borivali, with all technology, computers and tools and everything. The cost is very huge, either rental or ownership. That is the one problem. Even if, sorry, cost of setting up practice in an office in a city like Mumbai is very huge, including the cost of technology and computers and infrastructure and all that, plus cost of qualified staff. Suppose I hire a fresh chartered accountant, you know the salary because you are running the show. That is one of the biggest problem why we are facing the hurdle. And second, you must have faced also, sir, 70% of quality work, audit of say top 1000 listed company is done by top 100 firms. Down the line, I don't think in this crowd anybody is doing audit of listed companies, except one or two. That is negligible. Hardly what we get is certification work because the auditor don't want to certify certain things. So that is the second problem. At your level also, I don't blame us. Blame is not, problem is not with us. You must be facing competition from Big Four or something like that. So to overcome this, what are you will share out of your experience?
So that was the whole what presentation was about. How do you grow? So 2-3 things. I don't agree with you that the youngsters are not coming to practice because of the cost of the investment. It's a mindset issue. See, if they have the entrepreneurial mindset, they'll definitely come, irrespective of the cost. Is that it's an entrepreneurial mindset versus the service mindset. I want to do say 9-to-5 job or whatever. I'm getting the fixed package. This is entrepreneurial. There's volatility of the fees. It may be varying month on month. So that is the first. Second, coming to the fact of your mentioning that the listed companies are not coming to smaller firms and it's going to the larger firms, I think it's going to accentuate because it's become a different ball game now. The NFRA breathing, as I told you, line by line compliance. Suppose I'm an individual practitioner, I do TDS compliance, I do GST compliance. It will be impossible to reach up to the expectation of the NFRA. NFRA is still just seeing, I think, top 8 or 10 firms of our country in the inspection. As they start going down, I got a huge worry, let me tell you. Even I am worried as my own firm, we're trying to reach the expectation level. The expectation 100, I don't know at what level we are, 70, 80, 90, 100. My partner say we are 90, I don't agree, we may be kuch na kuch observation, nothing significant, but their expectation is the moon, if I can say so. So it will be, so the smaller firm, I'm telling you, it will be impossible to meet that expectation if you are doing everything. So unless you aggregate, that was the whole journey. You come together, somebody specialized in TDS, doesn't bother about audit, income tax and things. Somebody specialized in GST, doesn't bother about audit. Somebody is looking at it, he draws the expertise of the GST person or the tax person for the purpose of audit. So tax provision, GST, only if you collaborate, come together, it will happen. At a small firm level, it's next to impossible. I've told you 2,000 firms doing audit of 7,000 listed. I agree with you, top 100 may be doing the top 1,000. But 2,000 doing 7,000 companies, the 2,000 also in my view, if we don't change, if we don't come together, my feeling is in the next 10-15 years, 1,500 of this will go out of the listed audit practice. Because unless you scale up, you're not going to be able to do that.
Can we take in the break because
It's a very important question. Sir, we have a very nice presentation you did about aggregation of firms, increasing the business size, etc. From the professional point of view, not from an individual point of view, I'd like to ask you one question, given your seniority in the profession and being a partner of a big firm. I mean, medium-sized firm as you call it, but according to me, it's a big firm. Sir, what as a profession should we do to increase the size of the cake? I'll be specific about what I mean, size of the cake. We're talking about Viksit Bharat. We're talking about beating Japan this year, Germany next year in the economic GDP indexes. We have a vision of being a super world power by 2047, a developed economy. How can the institute use us as members with 179 branches, 5 regions, 68 countries to help. And how do the institute take it up with the concerned people in the statutory authorities to use us for the good of the nation? How do we increase the size of our cake vis-a-vis the Viksit Bharat objective?
Can I respond?
Sure, sir. Thank you, sir.
Hitesh, my view is forget the support of the statutory authorities. As you rightly said, I think do all of us agree that India in next 10 to 20 years we are going to grow. Forget government. I think irrespective of which government comes, irrespective of India-Pakistan war, there will be ups and downs. It will not be a straight curve of growth. Agree. So in that growth, we are definitely as a profession we are going to grow. There's no, as my friend who mentioned he's not there, the number of people in practice is are going down, especially in the cities. In Tier 2, Tier 3, you may have oversupply. Somebody doesn't want to go out, say a Nasik or a Bhilwara or a Jaipur or Udaipur. There will be more CAs and maybe a little bit competition. But in cities, you will not get enough practicing. So I would rather join a capital markets firm. I've got opportunity. Or a, say, large Tatas, Birlas, Reliance, whatever group as an employee or capital market. There's huge opportunities. Say in Bangalore, there will be huge IT companies, so much demand. So profession is going to grow is no doubt.
So
One second. At the same time, let me now complete.
Sorry, sir.
Coming to the statutory auditors, let me tell you, I have been in the council for 9 years, and the council does not leave any stone unturned to sort of do whatever best is possible. Having said that, let me also tell this audience, at least, I don't know if it's there, but when I was there was a huge bias against the chartered, huge bias of the bureaucracy. And I tell you why. There are few bad apples amongst us. Unfortunately, I don't know, recording band kar de beta.